She doesn't need to speak. She already told you everything with her body, and the reason you're confused, hurt, or left on red is because you never learned how to see it. You keep asking what went wrong when the truth is, she showed you the moment her body turned slightly away, the second her smile stopped reaching her eyes, the instant her feet angled toward the door and not toward you. And because no one taught you how to read these signs, you stayed in situations you should have walked away from, chasing her words while her actions screamed she was already gone. And now you're here, tired of overthinking texts, worn out from playing emotional detective, exhausted from showing up with honesty while getting confusion in return. But that ends today. This isn't just a breakdown of her behaviors. This is the toolset you were never given. The truth is, women speak more in silence than most men do with 1,000 words. Her gestures, her posture, her gaze, it's a script, a silent one. But only a rare man ever learns to read it. And when you do, you stop chasing validation. You stop falling for mixed signals. You stop reacting and start leading. Comment, I see the signs. If you're ready to reclaim your clarity, rebuild your confidence, and never let another woman's silence confuse your worth again. Number 1, she touches her neck. When she touches her neck, it isn't random. It's one of the most vulnerable parts of her body, and she's doing it without realizing. It means her guard is slipping, not because she trusts you yet, but because she's assessing you, observing your frame, watching your reactions to her subtle movements. Most men miss this. They chase the words. They believe what she says, not what her body reveals. You're different now. You see the code behind her gestures. This neck touch happens in interviews, dates, even when you walk past in public. If she does it quickly, looks away, and then tries to distract you with a laugh or another question, she's covering vulnerability. This is where your response matters most. You don't comment, you don't stare, you stay calm, unreadable, and now she's confused. She thought she had you figured out, but you've shown nothing. That mystery drives her mad. In that moment, your power grows. You're not reacting like others. You're not overextending or proving yourself. You're observing, waiting, learning, and that changes the entire dynamic. Most men hear, I'm just not feeling it lately, and think it's about something they said. But the truth is, she was testing your presence from the first touch to her own neck, and you didn't pass. Women don't want emotional chatter. They want composure. When she touches her neck, she's wondering, does he notice me the way I notice him? She doesn't want an answer in words. She wants confirmation in restraint. If you've ever noticed a woman speak to others with confidence and posture, then suddenly slump into herself when she's around you, hands fidgeting near her throat, that's not coincidence. That's exposure. She feels seen, and it scares her. But when you overplay it, when you lean in, soften your voice, try to match her energy, you lose her instantly. She touches her neck again, but this time, it's rejection. The body never lies. So what do? You lead yourself. You stay on your purpose in the conversation. You don't allow her micro movements to dictate your emotions. You note them. You catalog them. You adjust your posture. Back straight, tone measured, chin up. You speak clearly, calmly, with zero desperation. Her neck touch now becomes confirmation. She leans in. Her other hand mirrors yours. Her laughter is delayed, but more real. Now she's present. And that's the shift. You didn't need to touch her. You needed to remain still. From this day forward, anytime you see that touch, don't respond emotionally. Respond with focus. It will become your secret signal that she's watching you closer than she wants you to know. And this is where everything begins to shift. Because once you learn to read signs like the way she touches her neck when your presence shakes her comfort, you stop guessing and start knowing. That's exactly why I put together the Stoic relationship blueprint, because no man should be in the dark, feeling powerless, chasing answers that were always in front of him. This isn't just an e-book. It's the playbook for every man who's tired of being emotionally blindfolded. You'll own it forever. no expiration, no membership. Just real tools to decode the hidden language of attraction, rejection, power, and presence. The link is in the comments. Take it now, because one moment of awareness can rewrite your entire story. Don't wait until you're hurt again to wish you had it. Number 2, covering her smile. When she covers her smile, it's not modesty, it's calculation. You're seeing a mask drop for half a second, and her instinct kicks in to hide it. This is her trying to regulate her emotional exposure, especially if she's in front of people or unsure about how much control she has over you. Her hand moves quickly, not to hide embarrassment, but to hide truth. You're reading between those moments now. You're watching her try to suppress a reaction she didn't mean to show. And while most men would take that as cute, you know better. She's trying to maintain leverage. A real smile, genuine, uncontrolled, is a leak in the armor. She's smiling because you said something she didn't expect. You hit something deeper, and now she's scrambling to hide the effect you're having on her. This is not the moment to react. This is not where you compliment her or tease her or tell her she looks good when she laughs. That's what every other man does. That's the trap. Instead, you do what Stoic men have done for centuries. You stay still. You allow her discomfort to grow. You give her no feedback, because the real value you bring isn't in your words, it's in your center. When she covers her smile and you say nothing, she will begin wondering what it means. She'll replay the moment. She'll start questioning why she let her guard down around you. And that introspection is power. Because now she's investing, but more importantly, you're not. And that is what separates men who are forgotten from men who become obsessions. Covering her smile is a reaction to a moment that broke through her filters. It's raw, and it's rare. Your job isn't to capture it, it's to recognize it and stay still. Think of all the times in your past where you tried to say the right thing, where you thought, if I just make her laugh more, she'll like me. You got the laugh, but you never got the follow-through. That's because the laugh was never real. It was performative. The woman who covers her smile is feeling something real. The difference, most men ruin it by chasing the feeling. You let it pass. You remain grounded. You change nothing. And by doing nothing, you become everything she can't figure out. The man who can create an emotional stir and not try to own it is the man she remembers. Because he didn't feed his ego. He let her feel her own reaction and left her with it. This is where you flip the script, no longer chasing emotion, no longer depending on approval. You observe it, understand it, and stay unshaken. And in that stillness, you unlock everything. Number 3, legs crossed toward you. When she crosses her legs toward you, she's not telling you with words, but she's showing you with her body that her attention is locked onto your presence. And the moment you see this and understand it, everything in your reality begins to change, not just with women, but with how you walk into every room, because this body signal is primal, and women don't even realize how deeply it's wired into them. It bypasses social norms, filters, and even their own logic. And this is where most men continue to get manipulated, by chasing validation through what she says while ignoring what her physiology screams. Because a woman who orients her legs toward you while sitting isn't just comfortable, she's opening her frame to absorb more of yours, and your mistake would be to reward it with extra compliments or anxious energy when the right move is stillness. Stillness and unwavering confidence that tells her you noticed, but you're not moved by it. And as soon as you anchor yourself in this awareness, you begin to play a completely different game. One where you lead, and her responses only confirm your already grounded state. And the tragedy for most men is they never get to this level of awareness because they're too busy trying to impress instead of interpret. They watch her smile and miss the deeper cues, and then wonder why the same woman who seemed into them vanished without warning. But now you understand that the legs tell the story before the lips do, and when they're crossed away, angled toward the exit, angled toward her friends or the wall, she's already gone, and anything you say from that point is just noise to her. So what do? You scan her posture when she enters, you take mental notes of her orientation during conversation, and you calibrate your attention, your investment, your leadership based on real signals, not hope, not fantasy, but truth. Because the man who sees reality as it is, not as he wishes it to be, is the man who can never be manipulated. And if there's one signal you start learning today, make it this one, because it changes how you read presence, how you command space, and how you decide who is worth your energy. Number 4. She adjusts her hair constantly. When she adjusts her hair constantly while speaking to you, it's not a coincidence or casual habit. It's a psychological display of her internal state. And if you can't read this, you'll fall into the trap of chasing surface-level signs while missing the deeper indicators of genuine interest or concealed anxiety, because her fingers in her hair tell you everything her words try to conceal. And the key is knowing that these adjustments aren't just about looks. They're about control, about calibration, about her awareness of being seen. And the most powerful thing you can do in that moment is remain grounded. Because if you react or praise or chase, you break the frame, and she repositions you mentally as someone who seeks her approval. But if you sit with quiet presence, she becomes more invested in understanding why you're so composed. And that's when the real dynamic begins to flip, because she realizes you're not like the rest. And her hair becomes the tell, the signal, the giveaway she never wanted you to catch. And it doesn't matter if she's beautiful or average or emotionally confused. This act of hair adjustment, especially when it repeats without reason, is the nervous confession of a woman who's emotionally off balance in your presence. And your job is not to correct her or comfort her. Your job is to observe and adjust your energy so that you remain in control of the experience. And this is where most men lose themselves. They think she's fixing her hair to look better for them, when in reality, she's testing to see if her actions manipulate your focus. And once she sees it does, she knows she owns you. But if you stay level-headed, if you keep your eyes on hers instead of reacting to every flick of her hand, she feels it. She feels that lack of emotional dependency. And that is what makes her drop the game and start showing up as her real self. So next time you see that hand sweep the side of her face, or the way she tugs the ends while speaking to you, don't interrupt the moment with words. Interrupt it with presence, with awareness, with a stillness so powerful she begins adjusting not just her hair, but her behavior. Number 5, her voice changes. When her voice changes around you, it's not just sound. It's a shift in emotional posture. And if you don't notice it, you lose the opportunity to understand what she's not saying, because tone always speaks before intention. And when a woman's tone softens or rises or slows down while speaking to you, it's a subconscious test she's not even aware she's conducting. She's probing your sensitivity, your attention, your response, and your mistake as a man is thinking she wants you to match her tone or be emotionally reactive. But she's really watching if you remain composed, if you can maintain the same energy regardless of how she sounds. And when her voice goes sharp or dry or higher pitched, it's often an attempt to take the frame to see if you fold or stand your ground. And when you do fold, when you start explaining yourself or trying to cheer her up, you fail the test, because real leadership in conversation is about anchoring, not reacting. And the rare men who keep their tone level, relaxed and intentional, even when she fluctuates, are the ones she remembers, because they communicate dominance without needing to dominate. And you can apply this in every conversation. Listen to how she sounds when others are near versus when she's alone with you. And you'll quickly learn when you're losing or gaining ground without her saying a word, because tone is territory, and if you can't read it, you'll always be outplayed. Number 6, hands on her stomach. When she puts her hands on her stomach during a conversation with you, whether standing still or seated, it's not a comfort thing, it's a shield. And her body is telling you she doesn't feel fully safe or secure in your energy. And if you're the type of man who keeps talking without seeing this, you've already lost her respect, because she's subconsciously protecting her core. and she only does that when she feels emotionally cornered or physically small. And this is where your awareness as a man makes all the difference. Not by fixing it, not by asking her what's wrong, but by understanding that physical signals precede emotional barriers. And if her body is tense and her arms are drawn in, you create space, you lean back, you lower your voice slightly, you reduce intensity, not because you're insecure, but because you control the pace, and this makes her feel seen without being pressured. And this is something few men understand. True presence isn't about constantly expressing yourself, it's about adjusting your presence based on reality, not ego. So if her hands linger near her stomach, know that her defenses are up, and the way to dissolve them isn't through words but through calm, non-invasive energy that tells her you're tuned in, but not controlled by her reactions. Because once she feels you won't rush to fix or chase or prove, she begins to relax naturally, and that's when the shield drops, not from persuasion, but from peace. Number 7. Over-exaggerated laughs. When she laughs too loud, too hard, or at the wrong time, you're not making her laugh. You're watching her try to manipulate the tension. And what you have to understand is that exaggerated laughter isn't about humor. It's about control, about diffusing the rising energy you bring when you remain solid. And most men get confused. They think she's into them, that it's a compliment, that the volume and drama of her laughter is a sign she's charmed. But if you look deeper, if you see past the performance, you realize she's not laughing at your joke. She's laughing to test your reaction. And this is why many men sabotage their frame, because they respond by laughing with her. They match her tone. They interpret exaggeration as validation when it's actually a probe, a challenge, a question. Will you hold your frame when I behave erratically? Will you keep your pace when I throw emotional noise into the mix? And the answer is everything, because when you hold still, when you don't mirror back or try to double the energy, when you remain calm in the face of emotional chaos, she recognizes your power. And this is the type of emotional dominance that makes her reassess everything she thought she understood about you. Because exaggerated laughter, fake smiles, loud reactions, they're tools, defense mechanisms, ways to reclaim power in the presence of a man she can't easily control. And once you see this clearly, you stop reacting, and instead, you measure, observe, stay composed, and by doing so, you shift from being entertainment to being presence. Number 8. She mirrors your movements. When she mirrors your movements, it's not just mimicry, it's unconscious alignment. And it's one of the clearest ways her body confesses interest without permission. And this is where a thinking man separates himself from the rest, because mirroring is not surface-level validation. It's her subconscious tracking your energy, your rhythm, your intent. And if you don't pick up on this, you miss the most obvious green light, the one she won't admit but can't suppress. Because when you scratch your jaw and seconds later she does the same, or you shift your posture and she mirrors the movement, it's not coincidence, it's chemistry at work without consent. And your job is not to celebrate it, not to flirt or reward it, but to hold your center, to test consistency, to make slight movements deliberately and watch how often she follows, because mirroring reveals presence, interest, and emotional rapport before a single compliment is spoken. And the men who don't understand this will often sabotage their advantage by becoming too eager, too reactive, and instead of deepening the moment, they collapse into it, thinking they've already won. But the man who notices the mirroring and stays stoic, who makes eye contact and lets her sit in the awareness of her own behavior without trying to impress her, is the one who becomes unforgettable because she begins to feel exposed without understanding why. And it's not because he said anything clever, it's because he caught her slipping into his frame and never gave up his own. Number 9. She bites or licks her lips. When she bites or licks her lips while looking at you or during a moment of silence, it's not accidental. It's biological confession that her emotional state is shifting in your presence. And this isn't about lust alone. It's about emotional friction, inner tension, the kind that surfaces when a woman is trying to conceal the very thing she's feeling. and the average man completely misreads it. He thinks it's seduction when it might be nervousness or insecurity, or worse, he overreacts and turns it into validation, when in reality it's a leak in her composure, and your job is not to react or escalate, but to observe, because this is where a man's power lies, in knowing the difference between a signal and a trap. Because when she licks her lips and you lean in, she knows she still controls the dynamic. But when you stay grounded and simply notice it, when you do nothing except remain composed, she starts to feel self-conscious, starts wondering if you saw it and what it meant to you, and this flips everything. Now she's the one trying to decode you, and that tension, that emotional discomfort, that feeling of being seen and not being able to confirm your perception, that's what draws her in deeper. Not because you're playing games, but because you refuse to chase the bait. And the moment you treat her lip bite like a non-event, a silent confession that doesn't move you, she starts realizing you're different, and different is what keeps her invested. Number 10. Avoids eye contact after compliments. When she avoids eye contact after you give her a compliment, it's not always about shyness or humility. It's often about internal conflict, because she's not just hearing your words, she's feeling exposed by them. And if you understand that discomfort, you stop interpreting her reaction as rejection and start seeing it as confirmation that your words hit a nerve. And this is where most men mess it all up. They double down, try to soften the moment, reassure her, or explain their intentions, not realizing that she's already reacting to the tension you've created, and your power isn't in resolving that tension. It's in holding it, letting her sit with the way you see her, because when you say something real, like telling her she's magnetic, or that her presence is disruptive, and she looks away, it's because part of her doesn't want to be seen, part of her wasn't ready to feel exposed, and your mistake is thinking you need to fix that discomfort. When in truth it's the very thing that makes her feel something for you, and the man who stays calm when she looks away, who doesn't chase the moment or backpedal or try to win her comfort, becomes the man she can't stop thinking about, not because of what he said, but because of what he didn't do. He didn't break, didn't fold, didn't need to explain himself. And that's what makes the compliment hit harder, because it came from a man who meant every word, whether she was ready to hear it or not. You've spent years trying to read her words, when all along it was her body that told the truth. Every moment you ignored the signs, when she looked away, pulled back, or shifted her tone, you gave away a piece of yourself. But now, you see, you feel it, and you know. This isn't just about women. It's about you finally understanding how power, presence, and peace work in relationships. It's about ending the cycle of second-guessing yourself, apologizing for being honest, and waiting for closure that never comes. If you're ready to take full control of your life, to build real emotional strength, and to stop being the man who keeps losing to confusion, the Stoic relationship blueprint is linked in the comments right now. You will own this for life. No subscription, no noise, just the clarity you've needed your whole damn life. Comment, "I choose strength," if you're ready to grab it and step into a mindset that no woman can manipulate. Like this video, subscribe, and help more men escape the trap that's stolen years from all of us. Some men will watch this and do nothing, but not you, not anymore.